Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. ඇහෙනවද නැද්ද කියලා හොයාගන්නත්. හරි. මම දුන්නා නේද homework. I asked you to be thorough with balancing the chemical equations and writing chemical formula. And on your request, as I can remember, you made the request in the theory class. I shared the video links for unit 3 and 7. How to write the chemical formula, and also the molar calculations, right? So all these are needed today. So we finished discussing about the balancing of chemical equations. මෙතනින් තමයි නැවැත්තුවේ. හරි. Videos on කරන්න. So today we are going to do certain molar calculations related to a balanced chemical reaction. හරි. Videos on කරන්න පුතේ හැමෝම. තව ඉන්නවා. Yes, Sribawanuja, Tavindra, Gavisha, Yenuka, Shenela, Sheneli, Manuti. So here you are given a reaction between hematite and carbon monoxide. We will discuss about these reactions when we learn about the extraction of iron in this lesson itself. So you are given relative atomic masses. Iron equals 56, oxygen 16 and carbon 12. එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. Balance and rewrite the equation. ඊළඟට කියනවා ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකකින් එක කරමුකෝ. Balance and rewrite the equation. Hematite reacts with carbon monoxide, forming iron and carbon dioxide. So you are asked to balance and rewrite the equation. Yes, write it down. Balance the equation. Yes, done. Have you balanced the equation? Hari, yes, how did you do that? Denuri, how did you balance the equation? Yes, 3CO, Fe2O3. So, since there is 3 oxygen and another 1 oxygen here, altogether 4 oxygen. So, if I put 2 in front of this, 2 carbon, then oxygen is not balanced. Neither. So, what should I do? 3 in front of carbon monoxide. So, we put an odd number. 3 carbon, 3 oxygen. So, 3 plus 3 altogether 6. 3 carbon dioxide. 3 carbon, 3 carbon. It was 3 oxygen plus another 3, 6. 3 into 2, 6. Then what about iron? Fe. In front of Fe, I have to put 2. Right? Emavada, did you do like that? Did you balance the equation in that manner? Hari. Then you are asked, what is the mass of hematite to be taken to produce 112 grams of iron? Here you need the molar calculations. Yes, Metuja? Fe2O3 එතකොට Fe4ක් වෙනවානේ. Oxygen double වෙනවා. මෙතන 2 දැම්මොත් 2 into 2 4 Fe. ඊට පස්සේ 2 into 3 6 oxygen. මෙතන තව 3 තියෙනවා 9 oxygen වෙනවා නේද මෙතුජ? මෙහෙම කළාම balance නේද? මේ බලන්න එකින් එක check කරලා බලන්න. Fe2 2 Fe. හරි. Oxygen here 3, here another 3. 3 plus 3 6. 3 into 2 is 6. ඊට පස්සේ carbon monoxide 3 carbon. Here also 3 carbon. හරිනේ? Then it is balanced. Right. What is the mass of hematite to be taken to produce? Oh. Usual as it was confused into balance equation again, the method is known as the inspection method. So you have to look at either side of the equation, on this side of the arrow and the other side of the arrow. So you have to put numbers and see until both sides become balanced. Then may balana metana. දැන් මෙහෙමයි තිබුණේ equation එක. So Fe2 O3 එතකොට O3 මෙතන එක oxygen කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා all together 4 oxygen. දැන් මම මෙතන 2 දාලා බලනවා. I put 2 here. එතකොට 2 carbon and 2 into 2 4 oxygen. Oxygen නම් හරි. හැබැයි carbon ට 2 දැම්මහම මොකද වෙන්නේ? Oxygen here 3 plus 2 5. එතකොට මේ පැත්ත balance නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ මට ඔන්න පේනවා දැන් if I put an even number it cannot be balanced. එනිසා I just try with an odd number. ඒ වගේ එක එක විදිහට try කරලා බලන එක තමයි inspection method. So if I put 2 here I can't balance. Therefore I put 3, an odd number. So 3 carbon. You know, I can put 3 in front of here. So 3 carbon, 3 carbon. And what happens to oxygen? This 3 belongs to oxygen also. 3 into 2, altogether 6 oxygen. Now, metana, here 3 oxygen. Ilan metana 3, this 3 belongs to both carbon and oxygen. Oxygen 3. Now, altogether 6 oxygen on this side. Now, oxygen balanced on. It was what about carbon? Here 3 carbon. 3 carbon. මෙතන 3 carbon. එහෙනම් carbon උත් balance. ඊළඟට iron බැලුවා මෙතන 2. මෙතන only 1. Therefore I put 2 in front of here because we learned that we can't change the formula in order to balance. We can just put a number in front. That's what we have done. එහෙම ඒක ලියලා බලනවා balance වෙනවද දෙපැත්ත කියලා. Right? That is the inspection method of balancing a chemical equation. හරි නේද? Only two of you have kept the videos off. Now only one. Kavisha. Turn on the video. Hari. Now we have done the first part. ඊට පස්සේ then the importance of balancing the equation is we can get an idea about the molar ratio. දැන් අපෙන් අහන්නේ something real. What is the mass of hematite? Hematite can Fe2O3 to be taken to produce 112 grams of iron. එහෙනම් what is the molar ratio? මෙතන number එකක් නැහැ කියන්නේ there is number 1 there. අපි 1 ලියන්නේ නැහනේ. ඒකයි මුකුත් ලියලා තිබුණ නැත්තේ. So if we consider the molar ratio, number of moles has been written in front of each. එතකොට Fe2O3 is to Fe. What is the molar ratio? Yes? What is the molar ratio? කියන්න. According to the balanced equation, what is the molar ratio in between hematite and iron? Fe2O3 to Fe. Yes? 1 is to 2. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ 1, මෙතන 2. 1 is to 2. ඔන්න balance කළාම ඕක තමයි ගන්න පුළුවන්. That's very important. Right? To obtain the molar ratio. After balancing the equation, we write the number in front to get the molar ratio. In other words, this says to obtain 2 moles of iron, 1 mole of hematite should react. ඒක තමයි කියන්නේ molar ratio එකකින්. To obtain 2 moles of iron, we need to react 1 mole of hematite, Fe2O3. Right? දැන් අපෙන් අහන්නේ moles නෙවෙයිනේ. To produce 112 grams of iron. So we need to produce 112 grams of iron. How can we convert the mass into the number of moles? Unit 7 උදව්වට එනවා. කොහොමද හොයන්නේ? Yes? The number of moles equals, yes, mass divided by the molar mass. Number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass that you have done in the 7th unit. And what is the number of moles of iron? We need to produce 112 grams of iron. Then you are given the relative atomic mass of iron as 56. The molar mass is relative atomic mass taken in grams. So that is 56 grams per mole. 56 is the relative atomic mass. We take it in grams. Then that is the mass of 1 mole of iron. That is the molar mass. So we write it as 56 grams per mole. ඔය ටික videos ටික පැහැදිලිව දාලා තියෙනවා in your group. So 112 divided by 56 කියන්නේ මෙතන you can see grams. That is 2 per mole goes to the top and it becomes 2 moles. එහෙනම් now this is the molar ratio. අපි මෙතනින් ලියනවා molar ratio. Molar ratio. To obtain 2 moles of iron, we need 1 mole of hematite. එහෙනම් දැන් අපිට හදා ගන්න ඕනේ 2 moles ම තමයි මේ 112 grams කියන්නේ 2 moles. එහෙනම් how many moles of Fe2O3 should react? I molar ratio එක උදව් වෙන්නේ 2:1. එහෙනම් 2 moles නම් මෙතන කීයද? Yes? What should come here? Oh, yes? All of you? 1 mole. ඉතින් 1:2 නේ ratio එක. එතකොට මෙයා 2 moles ගන්න නම් මෙයා 1 mole කියලා පේනවා. 1 mole. We need to obtain 1 mole of hematite. හැබැයි අපෙන් අහන්නේ what is the mass of hematite? Number of moles නෙවෙයි. එහෙනම් the mass of hematite. මට කියන්න කොහොමද හොයන්නේ කියලා? Mass of hematite to be taken. Yes. Mass of hematite. කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? Yes. දැන් කොහොමද කරන්නේ? You are given once again you know hematite is Fe2O3. So you can find the relative molecular mass of hematite. Here what is the relative molecular mass of hematite? 56 into 2. 56 into 2 plus oxygen is 16, that is 16 into 3. So 56 into 2 is 112 plus 16 into 3 is 48. So altogether this is 160 නේද? 160. එතකොට the relative molecular mass of hematite is 160. 160. එහෙනම් how to find the mass? ආයිත් ලියනවා number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass. එහෙනම් the mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. You will get the mass. ඒ විදිහට හොයන්න බලන්න mass of hematite. Second part එකේ අහන්නේ. What is the mass of hematite to be taken to produce 112 grams of iron? Find the value. Vihansa, Raika, turn on the videos. Okay, I have received one answer. Another answer. Another one. Another one. එකම answer එක නෙමෙයි හම්බ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මට. I have received 4 answers. 2 are similar, the other 2 are similar. Another one. හරි. කියද? 160 කියලා කට්ටියක් කියලා තියෙනවා, 320 කියලා තව කට්ටියක් කියලා තියෙනවා. කොහොමද එහෙම වෙන්නේ? Mass of hematite. එතකොට mass equals, yes, mass equals number of moles. කීයද දැන් number of moles? මේ iron 2 moles ගන්න නම් hematite 1 mole is needed. එහෙනම් 1 mole multiplied by the molar mass is 160. 160 grams per mole. Right, 160 grams per mole. So that is 160 grams. හරිද? That is only 160 grams. 320 ආපු අය මෙන්න මේ 2 moles තමයි අරන් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට තේරුම් අරන් නැහැ කාගේද 2 moles කියලා. අපෙන් අහන්නේ what is the mass of hematite? එහෙනම් hematite moles තමයි we have to substitute for here. Right? That is only 1 mole. 1 mole into the molar mass 160. That is 160 grams. හරිනේ? දැන් ඊළඟ එක තනියෙන් හොයන්න බලන්න. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide produced when obtaining 112 grams of iron. Amount. හැබැයි amount කියනකොට නම් amount of substance is the number of moles. Yes, amount of carbon dioxide produced when obtaining 112 grams of iron. එතකොට amount කියන්නේ the number of moles. එහෙනම් iron දැන් 112 grams නේ කොහොමද ගත්තේ? එහෙනම් what is the amount of carbon dioxide produced? That is කීයද? In moles, amount of carbon dioxide produced. කීයද? That is 3 moles. Hari. Find the mass of carbon dioxide produced. ඔන්න මම ප්‍රශ්නේ තව කොටසක් add කළා. Fourth one. Find the mass of carbon dioxide produced. හොයන්න බලන්න. That one, the answer is 3 moles. The amount of substance is measured in moles. Yes. Find the mass of carbon dioxide produced. Here. Yes. What's the mass of carbon dioxide produced? Yes, yes. Answer. තාම නැද්ද? Yes, okay. Yoshita has sent an answer. Answers ගොඩක් ඇවිල්ලා දැන් දැක්කේ. බලමු. 84 grams කියනවා. පස්සේ කලින් එකට ආපු answer 132 grams කියනවා 132 180 කියනවා 13.03 කියනවා තව එකක් තියෙනවා 132. So I asked what is the mass of carbon dioxide produced? Another two answers, 132 each. I don't know what's the answer. Let's see. Have you all finished? Yes, Ranu, Sesandi, Sribanuja, turn on the video. ඇති නේද වෙලාව? Do you want some more time? ලොකු දෙයක් කරන්න නෑ. Just find the number of moles. Then calculate the mass. Convert the number of moles into a mass. හරි දැන් බලමු ඇති ගොඩක් අය වල තියෙන 132 කියලා. We'll see. දැන් බලන්න we have according දැන් මෙතන අහන්නේ to obtain 112 grams of iron what is the mass of when we are obtaining 112 grams of iron what is the mass of carbon dioxide produced නේද? The mass of carbon dioxide produced. Hari. So it is මෙතන 112 grams කියලා කියන ආපහු අපි දන්නවා 2 moles කියලා නේද? අපි හොයාගත්ත ඉස්සෙල්ලා. ඒ නිසා ඒක ආයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. It's 2 moles. Then we can obtain the molar ratio. Molar ratio එකත් පේන්නම තියෙනවා. Fe and carbon dioxide. So here to obtain 2 moles of iron, we when we are obtaining 2 moles of iron, 3 moles of carbon dioxide is also produced. And for carbon dioxide, I can take the equation N equals M over M, right? So you are asked what is the mass of carbon dioxide produced. So the mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. හරිද? එහෙනම් molar mass of carbon dioxide. First you have to calculate the relative molecular mass. Carbon is 12, oxygen is 16. 16 into 2. So that is 32 plus 12, that is 44. And that is relative molecular mass of carbon dioxide. When you take the relative molecular mass in grams, it becomes the molar mass. Therefore, you can write the equation mass equals the number of moles is 3 moles multiplied by the molar mass is 44 grams per mole. 44 grams per mole. Okay. So the mass equals per mole, here moles, 44 into 3. That is 132 grams. So බලන්න 132 grams ගත්තා අය ගොඩක් අය එව්වේ 132 කියලා තමයි. Hands up those who got the answer. Okay, most of you have taken. Just understand the concept, right? මම දැන් මේක දීලා තියෙනවට අමතරව තව ගානක් දෙකක් දෙන්න වෙයි වගේ නේ. To practice, it's not difficult. හරිද? It's not difficult, just understand the concept. මොකක්ද අපි කලේ? we balance the equation. Balance කළාම ඉස්සරහින් එන number එක තමයි number of moles. හරිද? I can we can get a ratio. මෙයා එකක් react කරනකොට මෙයා කීයක් හැදෙනවද? මෙයා එකක් react කරනකොට මෙයා කීයක් react කරන්න ඕනේද? Right? Likewise, we can get an idea about the molar ratio by balancing the equation. හරිද? By balancing the equation. මං හිතන්නේ මං තව එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා නේද ඊළඟට? නැද්ද? තියෙනවා. හරි. ඒක තනියෙන් try එකක් දෙමුනේ. Write the balanced chemical equation for the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. Last week we discussed. What are the products? Yes. What are the products, Ranu? Yes, thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. Yes, Manuti. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Yes, quicklime and carbon dioxide. Hari. Write the equation and try. තනියෙන් බලන්න. අද හොඳයි. වැඩි දෙනෙක්. Except two, you have turned on the videos. That's very good. You can ask questions. කොහොම හරි මේක කරනවාම කියලා හිතාගෙන කරන්න. තේරුම් නැත්නම් බැරි නම් ආයි හදලා පුළුවන් වෙනකම් කරන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? videos on කරගන්න, ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න. එහෙම කළොත් you can go to your target. Hari. Yes, done. ඇති නේද වෙලාව? කො බලන්න. ආපහු පේන්න එන්න. Yes. හරි. ඉවරද හදලා? තව වෙලාව ඕනේද? Hands up those who need some more time. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ප්‍රශ්නේ දිහා බලනකොට අම්මෝ මේ මොනවද මේ කියලා එහෙම නැතුව හරි මට පුළුවන් මං කොහොම හරි කරනවා කියලා එහෙම be positive and just have a look at the question with a smile, right? එතකොට පුළුවන් පාරක් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. In the life also the same. When you face a challenge, when you have a problem, and just don't think about the problem, think of the solution, right? ප්‍රශ්න ගැන හිත හිත හිටියා කියලා ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්නේ නැහැ. You have to think of a solution. ඊට අර ප්‍රශ්නෙට පොඩ්ඩක් එහාට වෙන්න තමයි solution එක තියෙන්නේ. Okay? 50 grams කියලා කියනවා. කවුරුත් අතිස්සෙ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉවරයි තියෙන්නේ නේද? Let's see. Write the balanced chemical equation for the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. Consider that total amount of limestone can calcium carbonate get decomposed. Find the mass of calcium carbonate to be taken to form 28 grams of quicklime. Quicklime can calcium oxide. Hari, 28 grams of quicklime is needed. Hari. First of all, you have to write the equation and balance it. But fortunately, this equation becomes already balanced. Thermal decomposition. It results with calcium oxide can quicklime and carbon dioxide. So this is already balanced. Right? Enisa balance karanna deyak ne. So in front of each we have number 1. Right? 1 mole of calcium carbonate thermally decompose and produce 1 mole of calcium oxide and 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Right? That is what we get. Then you are asked to obtain 28 grams of quicklime. We need to obtain 28 grams of quicklime. So what is the mass of calcium carbonate to be decomposed? අපි ගන්න calcium carbonate ඔක්කොම decomposed වෙනවා කියලාත් කියනවා. Right? All calcium carbonate get decomposed. Limestone is calcium carbonate. හරි. දැන් කොතනින්ද පටන් ගන්නෙ? Now the molar ratio is there. Molar ratio is calcium carbonate to calcium oxide. What is the molar ratio? Yes? What's the molar ratio? 1:1. නේද? කතා කරනවා නම් තව හොඳයි. 1:1 is the molar ratio according to the balanced chemical reaction. So we need to obtain 28 grams of calcium oxide. And now what is the number of moles of calcium oxide? So I write the equation. Number of moles equals mass divided by the molar mass. Number of moles equals mass is 28 grams. Molar mass of calcium oxide. My calcium is 40 plus oxygen is 16. Altogether 56. That is the relative molecular mass of calcium oxide. Then to take the molar mass, you have to take it in grams. Molar mass is mass of 1 mole. In අපි කියනවා grams per mole කියලා. 56 grams per mole. එහෙනම් number of moles of calcium oxide is 0.5 moles only. මෙතන ඔන්න molar ratio එක තියෙනවා. මෙයා 1 වෙනකොට මෙයා 1 නම් මෙයා 0.5 වෙද්දි this is also 0.5. එහෙනම් mass of calcium carbonate. Mass of calcium carbonate to be decomposed. කොහොමද හොයන්නේ? ඉතින් number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass නම් mass equals මොකක්ද? Mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. Number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. Number of moles is කීයද 0.5 මේ 0.5 කියලා හොයාගත්තනේ molar ratio එකෙන් 0.5 moles multiplied by the molar mass of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate කියන්නේ calcium is 40. හොඳ අවබෝධයෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ කාගේ molar mass ද හොයන්නේ කාගේ moles ද ගන්නෙ right? නැත්නම් ඔහේ ලියාගෙන ගියොත් වෙන එකක moles ගන්න තව එකක molar mass එක ගනිය ඔයාලා නේ. එහෙම කරන්නේ නැතුව සිහියෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. 48 plus 12 plus 40 that is altogether 100 නේද? So relative molecular mass of calcium carbonate is 100. When we take it in grams, it is the molar mass 100 grams per mole. So that is 5 into 10 50 grams. 50 grams. So බලන්න 50 grams කියලා ගත්තා. The mass of calcium carbonate to be decomposed is 50 grams. Coco. Then either 8, 9. මදි නේද? 10. හරි. දැන් තේරුණාද? දැන් මොකද්ද පුතේ අපි කරන්න ඕනේ? First of all we have to balance the equation. This is already balanced. එහෙනම් the molar ratio. Molar ratio කියන්නේ the number in front of each molecule. So 1 is to 1 is to 1. Right? Then we need to obtain 28 grams of calcium oxide. Grams වලින් ගණන් හදන්න බෑ. We have to convert it into moles. එතකොට here 0.5. මෙයා 0.5 නම් according to molar ratio මේ 1 is to 1. මෙයා 0.5 නම් මෙයා 0.5. එහෙනම් එයාගේ අහන්නේ mass එක. Then we have to convert the number of moles into a mass. හරි ලේසි. It's a simple concept. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ අහනවා what is the mass of carbon dioxide produced in the above instance. හොයන්න බලන්න. Mass of carbon dioxide produced in the above instance. හෙව්වද? Yes. Yes. Tenuja, what's your answer? Yes, Tenuja. ඉක්මනට හදන්නකෝ. Yes, answer. Okay. answers ටිකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Once again, different answers. හරි දැන් ඇති හොඳටම ඇති. So what is the mass of carbon dioxide produced? එතකොට දැන් once again when 1 mole of calcium carbonate get decomposed, 1 mole of carbon dioxide is produced, right? එතකොට අපෙන් අහන්නේ mass. එතකොට mass of carbon dioxide, for carbon dioxide I write N equals M over M. එහෙනම් mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. එතකොට number of moles is දැන් මෙතන මෙයා 0.5 නේ, calcium carbonate 0.5. එහෙනම් carbon dioxide is also 0.5 moles. හරිද? 0.5 moles of carbon dioxide is produced. Then the molar mass of carbon dioxide, that is 44 නේද? 12 plus 16 into 2, that is 44. එහෙනම් 44 grams per mole. 44 grams per mole. So the mole, the mass is equal to 44 into 0.5. Again 44 divided by 2, that is 22 grams. කොබලන් 22 grams ගත්ත අය? Yes, hands up those who got 22 grams. දැන් කලින්ට වඩාත් ඉස්සෙනවා. Good. හැබැයි තාම ඔක්කොම නැහැ. මියුරි වැරදුනාද? හරි අපි තව ගානක් දෙකක් හදමු. 22 grams. Hari, shall we move on? You have to make a commitment, right, to obtain the things. දැන් මෙතනත් එක්කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා මං හිතන්නේ in the grade 11 class. දැන් ඒ grade 11 theory class එකේ ඉන්න student who takes above 95 තමයි හැමදාම marks ගන්න. හැබැයි අද උදේ ඉල්ලලා grade 10 paper class එකටත් ආවා. හරිද? 95ට වැඩිය ලකුණුත් ගන්න. හැබැයි අද grade 10 paper class එකටත් එන්න ඕනි කියලා උදේ 5:00ට ආවා. ඉතින් commitment එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ, right? Then only you can achieve the things. නිකම්ම හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ අපිට. හොඳ දේවල් ලබා ගන්න ටිකක් අමාරුයි, right? Therefore you have to commit. එකෙම කියන්නේ මැරීගෙන වැඩ කරන්න කියලා නෙමෙයි. Certain commitment should be there. නැත්නම් වැඩකුත් නැහැනේ. ඔය වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්නකොට ඔක්කොම ටික ළඟට හම්බ වෙනවා නම් වැඩකුත් නැහැනේ. පොඩි effort එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ to get the things. හරි. මෙතන ඉඩක් නැහැනේ. Now you can take a sheet of paper. I will give you another question. සමහර අයගේ මූණු තාම හරි නැති හින්දා මූණු ටික හරියනකම් දෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? ප්‍රශ්න. හරි. Take a sheet of paper and put number 3. දැන් මම steps දෙන්නේ නෑ write the balanced chemical equation එහෙම කිය ඉන්නේ නෑ. You have to follow the steps by yourself, right? Oh. You are given the relative atomic masses, you have to take the sum of the relative atomic masses. So in the group I shared those videos. Unit 7 වල අපි හදපු ටික ඔක්කොම මම share කළා group එකේ බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා. Right? Find the mass of magnesium needed to produce 20 grams of මම ඒකයි ගිය සතියේ කිව්වේ හැමදේම පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ to write the chemical formula, to find the relative molecular mass, to find the number of moles, everything should be there to do these calculations. මම හිතන්නේ මම පැහැදිලිවම ගිය සතියේ කිව්වා. So you are given the relative atomic masses. Magnesium equals 24, oxygen is 16. ඒවා පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. They will be given as data even in the O level paper. හරි. videos on කරලා හදන්න හැමෝම. videos on කරන්න. Yes, Havishka, Vihansa. Okay, the first answer is received. Okay, another answer. The one. Hari, Balamuda. Shall we check? Serena, your answers all are similar, right? Hari, turn on the videos. We'll check the answer. Magnesium reacts with oxygen. Magnesium reacts with oxygen. Oxygen is O2, forming magnesium oxide. What is the formula of magnesium oxide, Limansa? Yes, magnesium oxide, what is it? MgO, yes, MgO. Hari. Then you have to balance the equation. Magnesium plus O2. Since we have to have 2 oxygen, we put 2 MgO, then magnesium also becomes 2. Then the molar ratio is visible. 2 is to 1 is to 2. 2 is to 1 is to 2. Find the mass of magnesium needed to produce 20 grams of magnesium oxide. 20 grams of magnesium oxide should be produced. Right. So what is the mass of magnesium? Find the mass of magnesium needed. Yes. Find the mass of magnesium needed. Magnesium kochara oneda. Hari. Magnesium oxide is to magnesium. The molar ratio is 2 is to 2 කියලා කියන්නේ 1 is to 1 නේද? 2 is to 2 means 1 is to 1. එහෙනම් so we have to find 20 grams of MgO means how many moles? So number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass. Mass equals 20 grams. So the molar mass of magnesium oxide, here magnesium is 24, oxygen is 16. So that is 40. So we have to take the molar mass in, we have to take the relative molecular mass in grams. That is the molar mass. 40 grams per mole. Therefore, it is 0.5 moles. 0.5 moles of magnesium oxide is produced. And 0.5 moles of magnesium should react. And what is the mass of magnesium needed? For magnesium, once again, on a number of moles of magnesium is 0.5. Right? 1 is to 1 is the ratio. 0.5 na 0.5 ma tamai. For magnesium, I put the equation number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass. We need to find the mass. Therefore, mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. And mass equals number of moles is 0.5 moles. Molar mass of magnesium. Magnesium is an atom, element. It is 24 relative atomic mass. We take it in grams. 24 grams per mole. So mole per mole. 24 into 0.5 the mass of magnesium that should be reacted is 12 grams. So balan 12 grams gatta hai. Hands up those who got the answers. 12 grams. Yes. Yes. Where? Balanced equation 2 ආවේ කොහොමද කියලා දහන්නේ? Yes. Here. This two. I don't get your question. නෑනේ. Magnesium reacts with oxygen forming magnesium oxide. So this is the equation. Magnesium plus O2. Oxygen exists as O2. It forms magnesium oxide. That is MgO. මේක තමයි equation එක වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? This should be the equation. So you balance the equation. Since it is O2, I put 2 in front of MgO. Then magnesium also becomes 2. Therefore, in front of magnesium, I put 2. This is all together here 20 grams. Means the molar ratio 2:2 and 1:1. So 20 grams of magnesium oxide means 0.5 moles. Magnesium also 0.5 moles. Now what is the mass of magnesium needed? That is how we calculated Chenelly. Okay? Okay. හරි. තාම ඔක්කොම අත්තික ආවේ නෑනේ. තව එකක් හදමු. හරි නැත්නම් අපි ඉස්සරහට යන්නත් එපා ලෙසන් එක. ගණන් හද දෙන්නත් ඕනේ. Hari, and I am going to give another question. Number 4. මේක කොහොම හරි හදනවාමයි කියලා හිතලා හදන්න. Yes, finished. Hands up those who have finished. Okay, the first answer is received. Hands up those who are still doing. Okay, 10 of you are still doing. The others have finished. 11. හරි. දැන් නම් ඇති හොඳටම. Let's check. කො බලන්න දැන් randomly අහමු answers. Yes, ඉන්දුනි. answers ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Tisali says 80 grams. Methira says 20 grams. Raika says 40 grams. Tavindra says 20 grams. Amadi says 40 grams. Manuti ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහලා තියෙනවා. In balancing the equation, if we put 2 in front of FeOH twice, does it get multiplied by the 2 which OH gets multiplied? Oh, so OH twice කියලා දැම්මහම OH ලා හතරක් වෙනවා. In front of FeOH twice, if you put 2, it becomes 4OH. හරිනේ? Then Tisali says 20 grams. Yoshita says, Yoshita කලින් එකටද වන්ද 132 කියලා තියෙනවා. Ranu says 24 grams. Vihansa says 22 grams. Induni says 40 grams. Sesandi 40 grams. බලන්න තව තියනවාද? Muri 40 grams, Akshaya 40 grams, Sheneli 20 grams, Avishka 40, Tenuri 40, Tenuja 40, Usita 40, Limansa 20. Again 40 20 අතර තමයි match එක තියෙන්නේ නේ. ඒ answers දෙක තමයි වැඩිපුරම ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ 40 and 20. Manuti says 20. හරි. Let's see. Ferrous sulfate reacts with sodium hydroxide. Ferrous sulfate reacts with sodium hydroxide. මොනවද හැදෙන්නේ කියලා නැහැ. Showing a double displacement reaction. Right? එහෙනම් what are the products? කෝතුකෝ දැන් videos on කරන්න. Yes. FeOH that is FeOH twice නේද? FeOH twice. Fe and OH. FeOH twice and sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate is formula. Sodium sulfate formula Na2SO4. Na2SO4 වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right. Then we have to balance the equation. කොහොමද balance කරන්නේ? FeOH twice ඉන්නවා. OH twice. It was Na2 ඉන්නවා. ඒ නිසා if we put 2 in front of sodium hydroxide මේ 2Na. එතකොට OH උත් දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්නවා. මේ හරි. It is balanced නේද? අනිත් අය Fe1 sulfate එකයි. එහෙනම් maybe that's all. Now it is balanced. So the molar ratio is 1:2:1:1. හරිද? On a first step is done. It was again 45 grams of FeOH twice is produced during the reaction. 45 grams of ferrous hydroxide is produced. Find the mass of sodium hydroxide reacted. එක තමයි අහන්නේ. Then එතකොට the molar ratio. මම මෙතනින් ලියා ගන්නවා sodium ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි දන්නේ කෙනා FeOH twice නේ. Ferrous hydroxide FeOH twice is to sodium hydroxide. The molar ratio is මේ මෙතන තියෙන number 1. එහෙනම් 1:2. Right? 1:2 is the molar ratio. Hari. Then we have to find the number of moles. Number of moles. So මෙතන ලියනවා for ferrous hydroxide I write number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass. Number of moles equals mass is 45 grams. FeOH twice. What is the molar mass? FeOH twice. Iron is 56 plus oxygen is 16. Hydrogen is 1. 16 plus 1 is 17 into 2. OH twice ne. So 56 plus 34. Here 90. Now here it is. Relative molecular mass is 90. So I take it in grams. 90 grams per mole. 90 grams per mole. And the number of moles equals 0.5 moles. 0.5 moles. Harida. That is 0.5 moles. Okay. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? That is FeOH twice. දැන් මෙයා එකක් වෙනකොට මෙයා දෙකයි. When 1 mole of FeOH twice is formed, 2 moles of sodium hydroxide is reacted. දැන් හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ 0.5 moles of FeOH twice. එහෙනම් what is the number of moles of sodium hydroxide that should react? කීයද? මෙයා එකක් වෙනකොට දෙකයි නම් 0.5 වෙනකොට yes කියන්න 1 mole, that is 1 mole. එහෙනම් we have to find the mass of sodium hydroxide now. If we know the number of moles for sodium hydroxide, now I can substitute for the equation. I make a mass equals number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. So the sodium hydroxide molar mass. Sodium hydroxide, the molar mass. Sodium is 23, oxygen is 16, hydrogen is 1. So altogether 40 නේද? 40. And the mass of sodium hydroxide needed, that is 1 mole multiplied by the molar mass is 40 grams per mole. 40 grams per mole. So the mass of sodium hydroxide reacted is 40 grams. බලන්න 40 grams ගත්ත අය. Hands up those who got 40 grams. Yes. Okay, 15 of you have taken. 16. Good. හරි. එතකොට කොතනද වැරදුනේ? අර 20 grams ගත්තා මම දන්නේ මෙතන 0.5 නිසා මෙයාත් 0.5 ම ගත්තද කියලා. ඒකට තමයි අපි balance කරලා molar ratio එකක් ලියාගන්නේ. දැන් අපි ගණන් කීයක් හැදුවද? 4ක්. We have done 4 calculations. So as I told last week, I asked you to practice balancing the chemical equations. Likewise, here also you have to practice all these calculations once again. ප්‍රශ්නේ විතරක් පේන්න තියාගෙන උත්තරය ටික වහලා තනියෙන් හදන්න ආයි හරියනකම්ම. හරිද? කොළ ටිකක් ගෙනල්ලා තියාගන්න පරණ කොළ මිටියක්. half sheets ටිකක් හොයාගන්න නැත්නම් මොන sheet එකක් හරි කමන්නේ ලියන්න පුළුවන් කොළ ටිකක් හොයාගෙන පරණ පොත්වල කොළ හරි හදන්න පුළුවන් තරම් හදන්න මේවා හදලා practice කරන්න. Okay? හරි. දැන් එනම් පොඩි break එකක් අරන් එන්නකෝ. ඊට පස්සේ we have to move on to the next section. දැන් O level pass papers වලත් මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් තිබුණා. We can discuss them in future, right? So we are going to discuss about the reactivity of metals next. හරි. විනාඩි දෙකක break එකක් අරන් එන්න ගිහිලා නැගිටලා යන්න ඕම් වාඩි වෙලාම ඉන්න එපා. You have to get refreshed. Drink some water and come back. Yes, have you all come back? Avane?
Now this is a story about a girl that just a year ago, everything in her life seemed certain. A career she thought unshakable. A relationship she believed would be forever. A future she thought she could. Then the world collapsed. Job was gone. The relationship ended. Her days, months full of plans and deadlines. For the first time in years, she did not know where her life was going. That silence terrified her. One morning, her way home, she noticed a flash of dirt after cracked, lifeless. But impulse, she bolted out to see. She couldn't explain why. But that afternoon, she knelt down her corner of the room, planted those seeds. Nothing happened that day. The next, but every morning she returned. She watered the soil. She waited. But nothing grew at first. She kept showing them. Then one day, tiny sprouts broke through. Something shifted. Those small plants didn't just grow. They changed her. Because in the silence, waiting, she realized she was growing too. Her father's words came out. Fastest way to waste time, to chase it. But the slowest, most powerful way is to plant it. She understood. Just something. Plant and patience, effort, faith. But something greater than you lost. You see life. Life today feels calendar looks blank. Everything counts. There's zero or X. But remember Maya, with the seed was growth. Doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly. Old seeing, days, weeks, years. Until one day, the blue. So don't waste your time. Best your time. This is textual education. Stories. Thank you so much for watching. They
Okay, let's continue with the reactions of metals, right? Reactions of metals. So that's the next part of the lesson. So we have learned about the reactions in the third unit as well. Reactivity of metals. Hari. So how these metals react with air, water. Water means how with cold water, then with hot water. Then what about the reaction with steam? We are going to discuss those, right? Hari. Let's see. Then we will consider the reaction of metals with acids, right? We will discuss all these things. First, we will consider the reaction of metals with air. Okay. So, we'll take sodium as the metal first, right? reaction of metals with air. Abhi එහෙම ලියමු. Take it like this. Sodium. So sodium reacts with oxygen, forming sodium oxide. So it reacts fast with oxygen in air, right? It reacts fast. Write the balanced equation for the reaction of sodium in air. Sodium reacts fast in air. Sodium reacts fast in air. So air means it reacts with oxygen in air, right? Hari. So what are the products? Sodium reacts with oxygen, forming sodium oxide, right? Sodium oxide. So what is the formula of sodium oxide? Yes. Adish. Yes. Na2O. Ko දැන් videos on කරන්න. හරි සරේක් මතක් කරන්න ඕනේ. Na2O. So you have to balance the equation. If you put 2 in front of this, that is 4 sodium, right? Hari, balance the equation like that. It was even magnesium. Magnesium, when it is burnt in air, it actually when magnesium is exposed to air also, after a certain period of time, it does not react faster like sodium in air. But when magnesium is kept for some time, it forms the oxide layer, right? So when we are taking magnesium for a particular reaction, we have to scratch that oxide layer, right? Then if we burn a strip of magnesium in air, it reacts with oxygen, forming magnesium oxide. Hari. So next one we can say when magnesium is burnt in air. Write the equation. Balanced chemical equation. Burning means once again reacting with oxygen. Yes, what is the equation? Oh, magnesium reacts with oxygen, forming magnesium oxide, MgO. දැන් මේ formula වරදිනවා නම් එහෙම දැම්මම හදාගන්න, right? So if we put 2 in front of this, that is 2 mg plus O2, that is 2 mgO. If we consider the metals like zinc, then you can see sodium reacts readily with air. Magnesium reacts when it is burnt in air. When we consider metals like zinc, iron, copper, they when heated in air, they become dull. Again, an oxide layer is formed around them. Even aluminium, there are aluminium cooking vessels. They also have reacted with oxygen and formed the oxide layer, but the rate of the reaction is very slow, right? Then if we take metals like silver, platinum, gold, they do not react with oxygen to form the oxide, right? And we can see the reactivity reduces gradually. Sodium reacts readily. Then if we take metals like ඔයාලට point dots 4ක් දීලා තියෙනවානේ, ඒ 4ට තමයි මේ ටික ලියන්න ඕනේ. Zinc, iron, copper, they become dull when they are heated in air. Become dull. Heated in air, right? Prolonged heating convert them into the oxide. දිගටම රත් කරනකොට they are converted into the oxide. Yes. Actually, we started from here, right? Reactions of metals with air, sodium, magnesium, මේ ටික තමයි කළේ. And before that, we watched a small video for motivation. Prolonged heating convert them into the oxide. So if we take an example, zinc reacts with oxygen. Zinc reacts with oxygen, forming zinc oxide, ZNO. Balance the equation. So O2 nisa, I have to put 2 in front of zinc oxide. Then zinc becomes 2, though I put 2 in front of zinc. Right, that is how to balance the equation. Hari neda Adisha? Induni? Sribanuja? Yes? 2 plus 2. Zinc plus 2. Zinc forms plus 2 ions. Iron forms plus 2 and plus 3 both, but 2 is most stable. Copper also 2. Hari, ඊළඟට ලියන්න. Metals like silver, platinum, gold, silver, platinum, gold. Metals like silver, platinum, gold. Do not react with air to form oxides. Do not react with air to form oxides. right? Do not react with air to form oxides. You can write it for the fourth bullet form, right? Then reactions of metals with water. So you have seen so when we put a piece of sodium into water, you know, it reacts readily with water, giving a hissing sound, evolving hydrogen gas, right? Then it forms a basic solution. It forms a basic solution, right? Hari. What about magnesium? If we put a piece of magnesium into water, nothing happens, cold water. But magnesium reacts with hot water and it further reacts with steam. දැන් මේ හැම එකෙම කියන්නේ the reactivity differs නේද? Sodium reacts faster, magnesium slightly reacts, then the other metals. The reactivity reduces. So we are making a comparison on the reactivity. හරි අපි ලියමු එකින් එක with cold water. Cold water ගමු. Cold water. Then we'll take sodium. Sodium reacts with cold water vigorously, right? Sodium vigorously reacts with water. Sodium vigorously reacts with water, right? Then it gives out a hissing sound. We call it as the effervescence, right? Hissing sound is that it evolves hydrogen gas. We call it as the effervescence and it moves faster since hydrogen gas is evolved. So sodium reacts with water forming sodium hydroxide. Then අදින් පස්සේ මේවා ලියලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? You have to remember what are the products. Sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas are evolved. Right? Sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas are evolved. දැන් මෙතනදී වෙන දේවල් තමයි hissing sound. We call that movement and the hissing sound as effervescence. And it makes a basic solution. Basic solution is formed. So if you have put a phenolphthalein into this, the solution turns pink, right? Sodium plus water. How to balance the equation? Sodium, sodium, H2. මෙතන අපි 2 දැම්මොත් 2 sodium, 2 oxygen. Got here 2 oxygen, 4 hydrogen, hydrogen 4. Balance නේද? මෙහෙම balance කළාද? ඊට පස්සේ that is magnesium. Then sodium, magnesium, no reaction with cold water. No reaction with cold water. Otherwise, if sodium reacts with cold water, it should definitely react with hot water further vigorously. With hot water, it will explode. Then magnesium reacts with hot water. Magnesium reacts with hot water, forming hot water. Hot water. Though magnesium does not react with cold water, it reacts with hot water. Magnesium plus hot water. Hot water in the equation, it forms magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. There was a magnesium reacts even with steam. Steam has more energy than hot water. So we'll take steam. So this magnesium will be the methanol liquid කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන් water කියලා පෙන්නන්න. Steam is H2O gas. Steam. So this magnesium hydroxide is further decomposed into magnesium oxide, right? Magnesium oxide and hydrogen are formed. Magnesium oxide and hydrogen are formed, right? So here it is hydrogen. Right. Now balance කරන්න the equations. No reaction with cold water reacts with hot water, further get decomposed with steam. Yes, hot water contains more energy than cold water, right? Again, tamai kiyanne the magnesium, sodium even reacts with cold water because its reactivity is very high. Magnesium does not react with cold water because its reactivity is less than sodium, but it reacts with hot water and it reacts with steam as well. That magnesium hydroxide is further decomposed. That is because of the energy possessed by hot water and steam. Okay, done. Did you balance? කොහොමද balance කරන්නේ? Magnesium 2 hydrogen එතකොට මෙතන අපි 2 දැම්මොත් 2 into 2 4 hydrogen hari balance 2 oxygen that is also balanced magnesium balanced hari ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන MgO plus H2 it is already balanced නේද hari නේද is already balanced ඊට පස්සේ අපි බලමු what about the other metals aluminium zinc erase කරන්න hari නේද ඔයගලන්ට පහලට තියන්න පුළුවන් it's raining after a long time that's good aluminium and zinc do not react either with cold water and hot water but they react with steam So how for example if we take the reaction of zinc with steam that is H2O gas that is zinc oxide and hydrogen that is how it reacts already balanced then you know iron does not iron actually reacts with iron does not show this type of quick reaction with hot water and cold water it reacts with steam forming a reversible reaction but you know after a long period of time iron reacts with water and oxygen to form the iron rust එක වෙනම කතාවක් දැන් මේ වගේ ඉක්මනින් reaction එකක් පෙන්වන්නේ නැහැ iron does not show a quick reaction with water right so we can mention that also iron, no quick reaction with either here O වෙන්න ඕනේ නේ either no reacts with steam forming a reversible reaction. ඒ කියන්නේ දෙපැත්තටම වෙන්න පුළුවන් reaction එකක් තමයි reversible reaction. Iron reacts with steam forming Fe3O4. And hydrogen. Okay, balance the equation. Equation. How to balance this? Yes. Can බලන්න කොහොමද balance කරගන්නේ කියලා මෙයාව. Fe3. ඒ නිසා I can put 3 in front of iron. O4. O4. එතකොට therefore I can put 4 in front of water. So hydrogen 4 into 2 8. Therefore I can put 4 hydrogen here. හරිද? ඔයාලා නේද balancing දැන්? Right. Then finally we can mention about silver, platinum and gold. They do not react with either cold water, hot water or steam. No any reaction. Now making unknown idea, sodium has the highest reactivity, then magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, silver, platinum, gold, ane vidhiyata. Silver, platinum, gold, no reaction with cold water, hot water and steam. They do not react. Next week we can finish this lesson, right? Then rates of reactions is a small lesson. I will share that tutor also. th එක තමයි චුට්ටක් විතර දිග lesson එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අපි discuss කරමු කොහොම හරි. හරිද? Then we can move on to reactions of metals with dilute acids. Dilute acids like dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, dilute nitric acid. Right? We can take a dilute acid and compare the reactivity of the metals. You know, when a metal reacts with an acid, it should release hydrogen gas. So we'll see what are the metals that release hydrogen. Since sodium is having an extremely high reactivity, we are not trying to react it with acids. It would be an explosive reaction. And so we are not trying it with it. Reactions of metals with dilute acid. Dilute acids. අපිට ලියන්න පුළුවන් dilute කියන එක අපි මෙහෙම ලියනවානේ dil dot dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, or dilute nitric acid. So we take 5 similar test tubes. And we can put similar pieces of metals, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, copper. Then we can put similar volume of a dilute acid. We'll say dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is magnesium, this is aluminium, this is zinc, and iron, and here we'll say copper. So here you will observe that the evolving of gas bubbles. This evolves gas bubbles faster. And here we don't see any reaction. That means the reactivity reduces this way. Reactivity reduces. So the observations are metal dissolves. Observation. Methanol no any reaction. Copper does not react with dilute acids. අපිට පේන්නේ gas bubbles, but we know that gas is hydrogen. Gas bubbles are evolved. So, can you write the reactions for magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron? එතන ලියන්න. Rian Balan reactions. Write the products. If magnesium is reacted with sulfuric acid. Write the balanced equations. Yes, done. So what are the products here? Magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid forming salt of the metal, magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. So to balance, we can put 2 in front of HCl. Then mono reactions. So what is the type of the reaction? Yes, single displacement reactions. Then magnesium sulfate plus hydrogen. So it is already balanced. Then aluminium reacts with hydrochloric acid forming aluminium chloride. Aluminium, the valency is 3. Therefore, the formula is AlCl3 plus hydrogen gas. එතකොට මෙතන Cl3 hydrogen. So if we put 2 in front of AlCl3, 2 aluminium, 6 chlorine, so 6 HCl. Then 6 hydrogen means 3 H2. අන්න එහෙම දෙපැත්ත බල බල බැලන්ස් කරනවාට තමයි ඉන්ස්පෙක්ෂන් මෙතඩ් කියන්නේ. right? ඒක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන් එන්න ඕනේ. Then zinc chloride is ZnCl2 plus H2. So you can put 2 HCl. Iron. So iron can form FeCl2 plus H2. එතකොට here 2 HCl. එහෙනම් අපි මෙහෙම ලියමු metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron. Metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron react with dilute acids, forming the salt of the metal, and releasing hydrogen gas. Then what about metals like potassium, sodium, calcium? They react violently, vinashakari pratikriya with dilute acids. Therefore, we don't try them. That means their reactivity is very high, right? They can ignite with an explosion. And finally, you can say potassium, sodium and calcium react violently with dilute acids. React violently with dilute acids. React violently with dilute acids. Hari. Then finally, the reactions of metals with solutions of other metal solutions. මේක තමයි මේ අර ගණන් ටික හදන්න නැතුව හිටියනම් ඔන්න අපි එක ගානක් හැදුවා ගියා කියලා කිව්වනම් we can finish the activity series today. හරිද? ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ නැතුව ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා වැඩක් නැහැ නේ. දුවගෙන යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. We have to do the things properly නේද? You should understand the theory parts and how to apply the theory. නිසා calculations දෙකයි දීලා තිබුණේ ටියුට් එකේ හතරක්ම කළා. Okay. Then reactions of metals with solutions of other metal salts. So for example, we'll take copper sulfate. Right? Copper sulfate, what is the color of copper sulfate? Yes. What is the color of copper sulfate? Yes, කියන්න. මොකද? White? Copper sulfate solution? Blue. Copper sulfate is blue color since there are copper ions, right? Since there are copper ions. So here this will show what type of a reaction as you think. Yes, what is the type of the reaction I am asking? Zinc and copper sulfate. අපි ගිය සතියේ ලිව්වත් under one type of reaction. Single displacement reaction. So zinc displaces copper. Copper වෙලවල දාලා zinc occupies the place of copper. එහෙනම් zinc sulfate and copper are produced. එතකොට copper gets deposited. Now the observation we make here is, okay, here this was blue color, blue. So after the reaction, the blue color fades, right? Blue color reduces, color intensity reduces. Hey, copper monkey one blue thing because of copper ions killer. Since copper is removed, the blue color intensity reduces, and also we can see the deposition of a reddish brown substance at the bottom of the test tube. So that is copper. Hari the copper deposit වෙනවා ගිහිල්ලා. copper අයින් වෙනවා. දැන් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් blue color intensity reduces. Blue color intensity reduces and a reddish brown substance gets deposited. That is copper, right? This is a single displacement reaction. So what has happened is, since zinc is more reactive than copper, zinc has displaced copper, right? Since zinc is more reactive than copper, it has displaced copper, right? ඒකෙන් මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? A metal which is more reactive can displace another less reactive metal from its salt or an aqueous solution of it, right? එතෙන්ට අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් metal which is more reactive, a metal which is more reactive can displace another less reactive metal. Less reactive metal. From an aqueous solution of it. From an aqueous solution of it. And if we allow to react zinc sulfate and copper, what do you think? Will they react? Will they react? Zinc sulfate and copper. Yes. Will there be a reaction? ඔළුව දෙපැත්තට වනනකින් පෙනී යන්නේ no reaction කියලා. හරි. So there is no reaction. Why? Copper is less reactive. Copper can't displace zinc. Copper ට බෑ zinc එලවන්න. Therefore, there is no change. No reaction occurs here. No change. Okay? Hari. And we have come to a conclusion. So we have compared the reactivity of metals with air, water and dilute acids, and also with the solutions of other metals. So next time we can discuss about the activity series. The activity series, what is the use of the activity series, why do we learn? Then extraction of iron, extraction of metals. Basically we are discussing about iron and gold. Preparation of gases. හරිද? very important. අර මං කිව්වේ paper class එකේ මං චුට්ටක් postpone කරනවා කියලා එතකොට ලබන සතියෙන් පස්සේ මේ lesson එක ඉවර වුණාම මම අර හදාගෙන තියෙන format එකේ යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ on the 20th නෑ 20th නෙවෙයි on the 27th from 27th September onwards we can continue the O level past paper questions once again in the paper class. මේ lesson එක ඉවර වෙනවානේ. හරි නේද? හරි. එහෙනම් දැන් හොඳට පාඩම් කරගන්න පුතේ මොනවාද බලන්න අර videos 3rd and 7th lessons miss වෙලා තියෙනවා නම් if you don't know how to calculate how to write the chemical formula, if you have forgotten how to find the relative molecular mass, right, then how to do a molar calculation. ඊට පස්සේ මේ අද කරපු ගණන් ටික අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයගලන්ට හොඳට ලකුණු ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ ටික පුළුවන් කරගත්තා නම් මේ ටිකකින් විතරක් නෙමෙයි ප්‍රශ්න අහන්නේ මම කියන්නේ හැම ලෙසන් එකක්ම මේ වගේ දැන් මේ ටික හොඳට පුළුවන් කරගන්න හරිද මේ දවස් ටිකේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලා පුළුවන් වෙනකම්ම හදන්න right so the questions further questions will be discussed in the paper class right ඉතින් අර කමිට්මන්ට් එකක් කරලා පුළුවන් හැමෝම ජොයින් වෙන්න ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට වැඩ ගණන් හදන්න ඕනේ නිසා ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර ලියන්න ඕනේ ගොඩක් the practice should be there I think එතකොට මහා ලොකු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි right you have 1 year left 1 year ඇතුලේ තව ගොඩාක් දේවල් අලුතෙනුත් ඉගෙන ගන්න වෙනවානේ දැන් පරණ දේවල් හොඳට රිවයිස් වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒ කියන්නේ 75% more than 75% of the syllabus is done now in grade 10 right හරි එහෙනම් මේ හොඳට බලාගෙන join on next Saturday right so we will finish this lesson and move on to the 17th lesson right hari okay then stay safe and have a nice day okay bye